And I think that seems to be the missing piece in China at the moment, where there's only so much you can continue to grow. It already seems like markets are oversupplied. There's frictions with external partners. It does seem like there needs to be a point where, while they are consuming a lot already, it needs to sort of continue to grow. Do you see that as
Yeah.
a risk?
Well, I think this is the interesting development right now, right? Because you had this huge shift in 2018 when the leadership basically said, "All right, we're closing the door on real estate and we're opening the door on industry. We're going to transition our economy from one to the next." And right now, the big question is the one you just raised, and is all the stimulus that we're seeing, is that a sign of, uh, when they come out and they say, "Look, we're going to build up our social security system more deeply," which is what Pan Gongchang, the PBOC governor, said in a conference here in Hong Kong a couple of weeks ago. When they come out and say we're going to do more subsidies to consumption, etc., are they now starting to say, okay, now that we dominate every industry, now that the Western world can't really squeeze our economy by blocking us from petrochemicals or blocking us from auto parts or whatever else, now that we basically produce everything, and we're thus independent, can we relax and have a little bit of a good time, and have a little bit of a consumption boom? Now, one of the ways to track this, I think, will be to look at bank lending, at what happens to bank lending, because logically, now that they've basically gotten to where they wanted to get to in industry, you should start to see bank lending to real estate pick up again. And lo and behold, it is like slowly, very slowly, but it seems to be happening, which explains why you've now had 3 months of improving data. And um, and so if you start to see that, that will be essentially the third turn for China, um, in basically the past decade or the past 15 years. And the market is absolutely not priced for that, right? Because the market has been so focused on, oh my God, it's balance sheet recession, real estate is going to implode, it's Japan all over again, etc. But the market is very much priced for that scenario. Meanwhile, the policymakers are saying, no, 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 no. We're going to step on the gas and we're going to get consumption up. So from there, you have, you know, in my career in China, I find that policymakers have had a pretty decent track record of doing what they say and saying what they do. So right now they're out there saying, look, we're going to step on the gas and get consumption going again. So that you can have three possible conclusions when they tell you that. The first is they're not going to do it and they're lying to me. But then why would they lie to you, right? The second possible conclusion is to say, well, they might want to do it, but they can't because, again, it's Japan all over again, and bad demographics, and they might step on the gas, but they're pushing on the string, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the second, and I think that's where most of the market is today. And I think that there's an argument for that. Like the first argument is they're lying to me. That one I don't have much time for. The second argument is they might want to do it, but they can't. And the third possible conclusion is to say, they're telling you they're going to do this and they're going to do it and it's going to happen. And clearly that's where I am. But I can see why a lot of people believe in the second scenario, again, pointing to Japan and saying, look, it didn't work in Japan and it won't work in China.